Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the English for Success podcast. I'm Shane Mackey and I'm here every week to help you to speak English fluently so you can achieve your goals in life. Happy Friday, everyone. This is a big one today. This is a very big topic, very important topic. This is something that people are asking me about again and again and again. So I want to go live here today and I want to help you all with this here live, this training. A lot of you have requested it, so we will be sending this to you later as a replay, but that's about it. We're talking about vocabulary. Vocabulary. So my question to you here before we begin is, do you feel like you don't have enough words to express yourself, express your ideas, to say what you want to say in English? A lot of people tell me this. So I'm here today to solve this problem. Okay, this is a big topic, but I have broken it down into the most important things that you need to know if you want to develop your vocabulary in English. All right, so as always, if you are here watching live or in the replay, you can comment, interact with me here. And don't forget, go to streamyard.com/Facebook so we can see who the comments are coming from while I'm here live. All right, and with that said, I'm going to jump right in. Okay, so first thing to say is everything has to be a lifestyle, right? This is what we say to our students, and this is what we do inside the program. We make it a lifestyle. And I think you understand this already. I hope you understand this already, right? We're not following traditional methods of education. If you want to develop your vocabulary, you need to make it part of your lifestyle. And in our coaching program, what we do is we have a system for this. It's always great to have a system for everything you do, right? So we have a system for developing your lifestyle, and part of this system is vocabulary, and that's what I'm here to give you the general idea of here today. Vocabulary. So if you have a plan to, why am I all blurry? Let me have a look at my camera, see if we can, yeah, it looks like it's automatically focusing. Let me check that for a second. Let me adjust my screen. It seems okay now. I was going a little blurry. Do you understand that word? Blurry, blurry. Let me just check my camera here for a second. Autofocus is on. Exactly. Okay, that should be better. All right, let's continue. So, vocabulary, you know, you need to make it part of a lifestyle, and let me share with you here the system we use to grow our vocabulary. So, this is the main 6 things that you need to know if you want to grow your vocabulary. We're going to talk about these in this video. The first is setting a goal, right? Everything you do, everything you want to achieve, you need to set a clear goal for this. Then we're going to talk about phrases, not single words. This step 2 alone will transform the way you learn vocabulary and will transform how much vocabulary you can remember. Step 3, input. Where are you going to find this vocabulary? The best way to get input for vocabulary. Number 4, record. Your record, how do you record this vocabulary? Number 5, cannot be skipped, is actually using the new words that you learn. And number 6 is lifestyle. And we're going to share with you in number 6 here one of our favorite lifestyle activities. So an activity for you to do this, to grow your vocabulary. All right, let's jump right in. with section one or step one of this system is setting a goal for vocabulary. So if you're here with me live, let me ask you a question. See how fast you can interact with me here. How many words are there? Do you know the answer to this question? If you followed me, this is something I talk about from time to time. But how many words are there in English? What do you think? If you've joined any of our challenges, you should know this. If you're in our program, you should know this. And even here in our Facebook group, you may be able to guess. But just for fun, think about it now. How many words are there in English? What do you think? And I'm going to give you a quick background here because it's important to have an idea about this. Right, so when setting a goal, we need to talk about the numbers first. So how many words are there? Well, this is a very complicated question to answer. If you talk about all of it depends on what way you look at the English language. So let's just think about the Oxford Dictionary. In the Oxford Dictionary, there are about 170,000 words. And most people go, oh no, don't worry. You don't have to remember 170,000 words. A native speaker does not know anywhere near 170,000 words. So what about English learners? Well, a beginner knows about 250 to 500 words in English. A conversational, someone who can have conversations, or maybe an intermediate level learner, has about 1,000 to 3,000 words. And an advanced learner has about 4,000 to 10,000 words. And then I suppose we should talk about native speakers as well. Native speakers, they have a range, so it's about 10,000 to 30,000 words that they know. Okay, so this is a good starting point for you to think of the numbers, right? The next thing is some very good news for you, is that the top 1,000 words account for 80% of the language you will listen to or read in everyday life, right? The top 1,000 words. Okay, so if you already know the top 1,000 words in English, you can communicate with people very well. All right, so what you need to do now is you need to set a goal, right? I work with a lot of different people from a lot of different places, and it depends on your situation. Why do you need English? How much time do you have? Now, how much time do you have is a whole other topic that we need to do another podcast, another training on, because everyone believes. I was talking to my students yesterday, and we spoke about this. One of our students believes that she doesn't have enough time, but after 30 minutes of coaching, she understood that she definitely can find more time. All right, so, and I always use Elon Musk as an example, right? Elon Musk, he has 24 hours in a day, just like all of us. So the point here is that you need to decide how much time you're going to put to your goal of increasing your vocabulary. Okay, so maybe you still have no idea. A lot of people, when they've never thought about a goal for vocabulary, they say, okay, I want to learn 20 words a day, right? My advice is start small, right? So a good goal would be about 5 words a day. Okay, and if you learn 5 words every day, that's 1,825 words in a year. That's a huge accomplishment. That's a transformation for your ability to communicate in English, right? So 5 words a day is a great goal to have. I advise my students to aim for 3 to 5 words a day, somewhere around here. And what you can do is you can start with 3, and then you can increase it. If you feel like you can handle more, you can increase it. Okay, so whatever your goal is, you need to have that number because you need to have accountability. You need to look back at the end of every week and say, did I learn 3 words every day this week? Okay, so that's step number 1. Very important. Before you even start thinking about what words you're going to learn or how you're going to remember these words, you need to set a number. So right now, with me here, even comment on this video if you're watching here in our Facebook group. Comment a number. Commit to yourself right now. How many words are you going to learn from now on? A lot of you have a goal for 2024, right? How many words are you going to learn every day? Put the number in the comments. So that's the first step. Set your goal. How many words? Number 2 is phrases. Now, what is a phrase? A phrase is a group of words. So my point here is don't learn words, individual words, just one word, right? Change the way you look at this to learning groups of words. And this will transform your ability to communicate in English and remember the new vocabulary. Okay, so this alone, this one step, as I said at the beginning, this one step will change the way you learn English forever. Learn phrases, not single words. Okay, so language comes in natural chunks of words. Okay, maybe 2 words or 3 words together. That's the way you should be remembering English and learning your vocabulary. So, for example, the word, let's say you don't know this word, appreciate. Appreciate. And, well, what does this mean? Appreciate means that you see the value in something. Okay, you see the value in something, to appreciate. Now, if you learn this one word on its own, it's very difficult to remember it. So what we advise is that you learn in a chunk. So an example is, I know this guy called James, and James always has a smile on his face, and he walks through every day pointing things out and saying how much he loves this, how much he loves this. On a, you know, Today in Ireland, it's a cloudy day outside. James would say, don't you just love cloudy days? In the winter time when you're inside and you feel warm, you look outside, it makes you enjoy, it makes you feel comfortable inside your warm home, right? He appreciates everything. And the sentence I've used here is James appreciates the little things. This is great advice. This is a great way to live your life, right? Appreciate the small things in life, and then you'll be happy, right? And James is one of these people. He's just always happy because he appreciates the little things. He's one of those people that is great to have as a friend because he's always pointing things out, and then you remember, oh yeah, that is great. I appreciate that as well. So back to vocabulary, James appreciates the little things. If you want to remember this word, if you want to learn this word, remember the phrase or the sentence here in this case. James appreciates the little things. Now, why is that? Well, the first thing is that this is like a little story, right? Or a little picture in your mind. That makes it easy to remember. This is the way the brain remembers or learns language, right? In stories. It doesn't learn just individual words, right? So if you can feel the difference here. If you try to remember the word appreciate, or you can remember me talking about my friend James who appreciates the little things, it's much easier to remember that little story. Okay, so learn words in chunks. It'll help you to remember. But another reason is a bonus for doing this is you learn the grammar of English automatically without thinking about the rules. Okay, appreciates. Now, a lot of people will look up the word in the dictionary, appreciate. It'll say it's a verb, and it'll tell you how to conjugate that verb depending on the subject. If the subject is third person singular, then you must add an S. All of these rules we don't have time to think about when we're speaking English. But when you take in the language like this as part of a group of words or a sentence, you automatically get the grammar. This is the way you learned your native language. This is the way babies learn a language, right? You'll learn it automatically. James appreciates, right? There's an S at the end of it there because it's James. James appreciates the little things. So you're going to get grammar, right? The natural way with this as well, but you're also going to get the pronunciation, right? The sound of the word. And, a problem with a lot of English learners when they speak English, it's not natural, right? The rhythm, the rhythm. When we speak English, we speak with a rhythm. Okay, there's a rhythm in language like there is in music. And a lot of English learners, when they learn single words, they have a weird rhythm, right? They just say these individual words, and it's frustrating. It's difficult to listen to. It's difficult to follow. It doesn't sound natural. But when you learn as part of a phrase, you get that rhythm, you get that pronunciation. And when you speak, it sounds more natural. James appreciates the little things. Okay, you can put it into a sentence and you can say it with the right rhythm when you learn like this. And if you haven't gotten enough reasons already to do this, the last bonus is this is a great way to develop your fluency, right? A lot of you want to speak English fluently, so it flows without having to think. When you learn words as part of phrases or chunks, that gives you more fluency. You don't have to think too much about putting the words together because you've got these phrases already in your mind. You don't think about it. Like I'm not thinking now when I'm speaking to you. So that's step number 2. Very, very big step. Maybe the biggest tip I can give you here in this video is learn phrases, not just words. Okay, there was an extra one here. I'll just do this quickly. This was, let's say, the word perseverance. I'm going to give a shout out to one of my star students here. I don't know if you're watching, Patricia, but this is let's say, for example, one of the words that's coming up in our coaching program at the moment is perseverance. And it's a great word. It's similar to consistency, and it means that you're not giving up, right? No matter what the challenge you face in your life, you don't give up. So successful people have perseverance. And again, if you try to learn that word on its own, it's going to be difficult to remember. But if I tell you about one of my students, Patricia, I'm delighted to be able to mention your name here, Patricia. She has transformed her English skills mostly because of her perseverance, right? She has a lot of things, like a lot of you do. She has a full-time job, she works shifts, she has a daughter, she has a family, she's all these things in her life, but she perseveres. She perseveres. Patricia has transformed her English skills mostly because of her perseverance. That means not giving up no matter what happens. She sticks to her goal, and she has achieved a huge transformation. So again, that's just another example of a word as a phrase or as a sentence or as a small story, right? You're going to remember that word much easier than just the word on its own. All right, let's jump back now to step number 3. Step number 3 is input. Where do you get this language from? So throw out your English textbook, throw out your vocabulary lists. Don't try to remember lists of vocabulary. It's not the way the brain understands or remembers language, right? Input comes from a few different places. One of the best ways to get input is by reading in English. Another great place to get input is listening, okay? And when you want to read something or listen to something in English, you should be following your passion. What are you interested in? If it's boring, don't do it. If it's boring, stop. Read and listen to real, authentic materials in English. The same things that native speakers read and listen to. Okay? Make sure it's attached to your passion. If you love cooking, read about cooking. If you are growing your business, listen to podcasts about growing business. And that is the fourth thing. You should relate it to your professional field. What are your professional goals? And then that will dictate what you're reading and what you're listening to. And when you get your input like this, it's part of a story, it's part of a context, it's related to your goals, it's related to you. You're going to remember it much easier. And you're going to choose the right type of vocabulary that's important for you. Step number 4. Right. So now at this stage, you've set a goal. You know how many words you want to learn per day. You understand the value of learning phrases, not just single words. And you know where you're going to get this from reading and listening to materials, real materials that are important to you. So when you get these new words, how are you going to remember them? Well, you make a record. And I'm going to share with you here the results of a lot of research and over 20 years of experience, the 3 things that you should do when you're recording new vocabulary. First of all, you should write down the definition. What does this word mean? And the definition should be in English. You're not translating, okay? Don't If you are still learning the traditional way with learning grammar, memorizing grammar rules, and translating from your native language, stop it right now. It's a waste of time, and you just don't have time to translate when you're speaking in English. So you need to switch 100% to English. When you get new vocabulary, you write down the definition in English. The second thing that you put into your record is the original sentence. Remember that little story? All right, that if you read it in a book, you can write down the original sentence, or just a phrase, right? But not just the word on its own, the context it came in. And then the third step is really the most powerful thing that most people don't do. And the reason why most people forget new words is they don't actually use it. They don't process. They don't think about it enough. So if you stop here, you will probably forget the word. But if you do step number 3, make your own sentence, make a personal connection, then your chances of remembering this word go multiply by 10. Okay, write down the definition in English, write down the original sentence, and make your own new sentence with the word, and you will never forget this vocabulary again. Step number 5, I always say, use it or lose it. You have to use the vocabulary, right? A lot of people have dormant language in their head, that language that's asleep, that's not ready. Do you ever feel like this when you're speaking in English and you can't think of the word, and then later on you remember that word? So you knew it, but you couldn't use it. So we want the language to be, or the vocabulary to be, active vocabulary. Active means it's ready to use when you're speaking with someone. And that only happens when you use it. You have to use a word up to 5 times before it's part of your active vocabulary. So how can you use it? Well, you can use it in self-talk. You should be talking to yourself every day, right? Talking to yourself. I know it sounds crazy, but this can improve your fluency, and you're using that new vocabulary, so you're making it active. You can use it in your life. If you're lucky enough to be in an English speaking environment, always be using your new vocabulary. Play with it. Use it up to 5 times and it'll be there. It'll be ready to use. Use it in your work. Or if you're part of a program, or you have a class where you're learning English and you're getting speaking practice, always, every time you're practicing your English, then you should be using your new vocabulary, right? Every time you practice, you shouldn't just be using all of the same language that you've used for 10 years. You should be using your new language to activate it. At this stage, I'd like to let you know that if you don't have an opportunity to practice, we have this for you. Okay, we are about to launch a new monthly subscription, and we're launching it very soon. And the first 10 people to join are getting a special offer here. Okay, so if you want to join us, we have English for Success. As you know, I don't know if you know, but we have our coaching program, our full coaching program, where we coach people to reach their goals in life through English. But we're also now opening a new monthly subscription. So if you want to get English speaking practice so you can reach your goals, then you can comment, right? Comment below this video. We'll reach out to you. We have a list of people already, but the first 10 people are going to get special priority here. There we are. Comment practice below this video and we'll reach out to you. We'll tell you more about this monthly subscription where you can get speaking practice with us so you can reach your goals in 2024. Okay, so that is the fifth step. Use it. Remember what I said? Use it or lose it. Finally, step number 6 is to make it part of your lifestyle, right? This is so important. You will not become fluent by just joining an English class for 1 hour a week, right? You have to have this lifestyle. You have to make it part of you, part of your lifestyle. So we give to our students lifestyle activities depending on their goals. So if you have a goal to improve your vocabulary, one of our students' favorite lifestyle activities is hold on a second, we're losing it. It's called the what's it called? Hold on a second. Bring this back up. Okay, let's try that again. We're on step number 6, lifestyle. The lifestyle activity is called vocabulary mining is the one I want to share with you today. Vocabulary mining. Now, maybe this word mining is new to you. So let me tell you what this word means. Mining. What is mining? So mining is how they get diamonds and precious stones, right? They go into a cave and they dig into the rock and they take out diamonds, right? That's mining, right? To go in and to look for something and take it out, something of value, right? You mine for something of value. So you can mine for vocabulary, and this is an activity you can do that's getting, our students, as I said, I think it's their favorite vocabulary activity. Very powerful. Let's take a look at how you can do this. So what is vocabulary mining? So what you do is, first of all, you have to choose some material. So you find something you're going to read. It could be an article, it could be a web page, it could be one page in a book you're reading, one paragraph in a book you're reading, something you're reading that has vocabulary related to your goals, related to your passion. All right, vocabulary you want to know. So step 1 is to find one page or one article, right? You're not talking about a full book, not a full chapter. It's only a small part, right? Like one page, for example. So you find a page, let's say next week, right? You're going to do this activity, test it out for the first time and tell me how this works for you. Step 2 is to read that page and underline the words that you don't know. That's it, right? That's all you do. So on Monday, let's say next Monday, you find this page of a book, you want to learn the vocabulary on that page. On Monday, you sit down for 10 minutes and you read the page and you just underline the words you don't know. Stop. Finished for Monday. Tuesday, you read the same page again and you look up the words you don't know and make a note of them. Okay, remember your vocabulary record. What are the 3 things you write down? The definition. Number 2, what is number 2? The original sentence. And number 3, your own new sentence. All right, so on Tuesday, read the same page again, look up that vocabulary, take a note of the new words. Finished. Wednesday, read the same page again and try to remember those words. And you'll be amazed. You'll be surprised. You'll be pleasantly surprised that you can remember a lot of these words already. You probably won't remember all of the words, but you'll remember 60 to 80% of them on Wednesday. Then the ones you don't, you can check your record for the ones you don't know. Finished. Thursday, repeat what you did on Wednesday. Read the same page again. Try to remember those words that you underlined. You will remember 80% plus on Thursday. Friday, do the same thing again. Read that page again. Try to remember all those words. And I promise most of you will remember all of those words on Friday. If you don't, continue on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so that is an example of a lifestyle activity, not from a book, not I mean an English study book, textbook. It's not from a textbook. It's not some boring list of words. It's something that you are reading and something you are passionate about. If you want to go one step further, you can write a summary of that page using those new words, right? That'll really supercharge this practice. So they are the 6 steps to learning, growing, developing your vocabulary, and finally remembering it. I hope that was valuable for you all here today. Remember, if you want practice, if you need a place to practice using this new vocabulary, you can join us. All right, the first 10 people are getting priority to join us for English for Success monthly subscription starting soon. You can comment, practice below this video. We will reach out to you, and that's it. They are the 6 steps for developing your vocabulary. I'd like to hear from you, right? So tell us, what tips do you have for learning vocabulary? All of you have experience here in this group. You've been learning English for a long time, I know. What tips do you have? Share with us. You can make a post, you can comment below this video. What tips do you have for learning vocabulary? And which tips from today, from this training, are you going to use in your new lifestyle and why? That's it for today. Thank you all. I hope you got value from this training. This is vocabulary. The main thing to take away is you need to have a system. This is not going to happen by magic. Okay, you need to develop your own system. You need to set those goals. Let's see if we can remember together those 6 key steps to learning vocabulary. What is number 1? Goals. Decide on how many words you want to learn per day. Start with 3, my recommendation. What's step number 2? Learn in phrases, not single words. That's step number 2. Step number 3, testing myself here now. What's step number 3? Let's bring it back up. Who can see? Who's going to help me in the comments? Step number 3 is, where do you get this language? You get it through reading and listening to real materials that are related to you, that you're interested in, that you're passionate about. Step number 4, what is it? Can you remember? You should be thinking about this. You should be trying to remember along with me here. Step number 4 is your record. How do you record this vocabulary? There were 3 ways you record it. The definition in English, the original sentence, and your new sentence. Step number 5. Remember I gave you a sentence? Use it or lose it. Make sure you're using it in your daily life, in your speaking, in your practice. Make sure you're using the new language you learn. And finally, step number 6, use lifestyle activities. So you're really focused in this example, vocabulary mining, it was 10 minutes a day. For 1 week, you'll learn a lot of vocabulary. Have activities where you're focused on learning and remembering new words. That's it. I've gone way over time here today. These podcasts are supposed to be 20 minutes. I'm going for 35 minutes here. So I'm going to finish for today. I'll see you all next week for Friday podcast. I've been your host, Shane Mackey, English for Success. Let's make 2024 the year we reach our English learning goals. Good luck, everybody. Have a nice weekend. See you next week.